is time for us to dive into the book. I would like to invite Professor Pat Utomi, who wrote the foreword of the book, to give us his own view of the book.
Your Excellencies, distinguished senators, honorable members of the House, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Unlike just about everybody else who has spoken, I have read the book. But I prepared remarks on the citizen in public life that is broad, relating to the man. Senator Prof almost stole my thunder, because you see, the central thing that the author tried to do was to make good a desire to be a big man. And most of you are convinced that he's a big man, but I say he is not a big man. Senator Prof made my point, stole my thunder, when he made the point that his stomach is flat. Big men don't have flat stomachs. So, author, you have some ways to travel if you want to be a big man. But very, very seriously, the book speaks to the challenge of nation building from how character is formed in a person. And I think that this is something that we should pay particular attention to. I like to think of Senator Njenje Abaribe as representing the citizen in public life. And why is it important to look at the citizen in public life? It's because if you go back to the Greeks and how they see people in society, they have a broad categorization. At the bottom of society are people who think just of themselves. They care only for themselves. Their world is scoped around themselves. Me, myself, and I. And those kinds of people, the Greek philosophers referred to as idiots. It was not meant to be an insult as we use the word idiot. It just meant a limited human being, just limited to themselves. Further up the hierarchy are people who are comfortable with people who share kinship with them, people they know. And these people are generally called tribesmen, tribes. It seems somehow we're lost in the world of tribes today in Nigeria, but it's not a Nigerian peculiarity. Even America has descended into tribalism. In fact, I'd like to make a point of the fact that American scholars, the ethnocentric ones particularly, used to refer to us back in those days as warring tribes. But what we saw in the last couple of months of the Trump administration was a degeneration to tribalism. And that disposition has been brilliantly captured by a Harvard professor called Joshua Green, who runs the Center for Moral Cognition at Harvard. And Joshua Green's book essentially focuses on this challenge of what he calls moral tribes, as he looks at the problem of reason and emotion and the gap between us and them. Our country is presently swallowed by an us and them view of the world. The visions are steep. We have become tribalists, worse than was the case many years ago. I like to tell people, as a 9-year-old, I traveled from Guzo in what is today's Zamfara State to Onitsha, unsupervised, alone. I got in a train from Guzo, got to Kaduna, changed trains, got to Enugu, got on a bus, and got to Onitsha to take the entrance exam into a secondary school. And I returned to Guzo. My parents did not worry because they thought I would be okay. Today, if a 24-year-old man is going from Lagos to Abuja to do youth corps, his mother follows. That is the tragedy of what it is to become tribesmen. So in this descent, we can ascend from tribesmen to the next level, and that level is the citizen. The citizen who looks at our common humanity, who looks at the common good, who is focused on how to advance the common good of all. In very clear ways, to me, Senator Njenje Abaribe is one of the few politicians from the Southeast who is truly a citizen in public life. And I speak truth to power always. And I like to give as an example, and there's a paradox in this example I want to give. In 1999, Ojuzo Kalu was elected governor of Abia State. And the elders, the intellectual leaders of Abia, had a reception at the Golden Gate Hotel in Lagos to welcome their incoming governor. Professor Joe Iruku, Professor Yuyu Uche were amongst those who organized that. And we got to the event, and everybody was hailing and hailing and hailing, and I got very upset. Of course, it reached my turn to speak. And I turned to Oji, and I used your name, unfortunately, not meaning you. I said, "Hey, if you get home here and misbehave, you will hear from me." And when the deputy governor things were going on, he heard from me. And this is how citizens are supposed to engage the state, public officials. Because we have not built up citizens, there's a gulf between those who are in public life and the Nigerian people, and it has not helped us to develop. Because people in public life separate themselves from the people. Njenje Abaribe continually returns to the people and speaks for the people. And I think that this makes him a unique citizen in public life. I'm being told time is up. I don't come from Lagos to Abuja to speak for 1 minute. So I'm going to take 3 more minutes. Not a lot. Just 3 more minutes. I think that is important for us when we're dealing with these matters. The way that society has evolved and democracy has evolved. One of these great scholars and philosophers of democracy and modernity is a German called Jürgen Habermas. And Jürgen Habermas makes the point that that's the center of modernity and democracy is rational public conversation. In our country, we are not managing to have rational public conversation. We just trade insults. And this has not enabled us to articulate a path forward for our country. So when Senator Abaribe asked the question, why was yesterday better than today? It's because we are not having rational public conversation. And an example that confuses me, and pardon me because I'm a simple person, I'm a simpleton in some manner of speaking. We're told that there's insecurity in the country, and we should grab these people and challenge them. After all, they have only 3 bullets or so in their guns. I say, well, that's fine. For years, I've been saying to the private sector in the Southeast and the South-South that they should organize security networks to defend their economic interests. You can have an agriculture ranger defense league to protect your farms. I have lost 2 farms, devastated completely. I've said to the industrialists, create industrial parks that you can invest in and create security networks to protect the parks. And then I hear that some people have created one in the Southeast and is being attacked. And I ask myself, where is the confusion? Where's the rationality in this kind of conversation? And so I say our country is challenged, and I will close here. It's challenged in many ways, but more importantly, it's challenged by the collapse of character in public life. There's a secondary school in Owerri whose anthem I got to know many years ago and adopted because it was so beautiful. Government Secondary School Owerri. Work hard, play hard. When wealth is lost, nothing is lost. And my favorite example that I give of this is Donald Trump. Until he became president, I used the video that he used to teach at the Lagos Business School for many years. Trump was coming out of the subway in New York and saw a homeless man just across the street and says, my goodness, that guy is worth more than me. At least he's worth zero. I am worth less than zero. Trump had just gone bankrupt. A few years later, he was back a billionaire. And he went bankrupt again and again. So when wealth is lost, nothing is lost. When health is lost, something is lost. And you go to a brilliant man who took Apple to where it is, Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs was dying, had all the money in the world, but could not stop the onrush of death in early life. But when character is lost, all is lost. The crisis of our country is a crisis of a loss of character. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to recognize the presence of